So Mario Cristobal, there's good things about Cristobal, but there's also some red flags. And now that he's at Miami, it's like a perfect mesh of, okay, this thing's either gonna like accelerate and just turn into perfection, exactly what Miami needs, or it could be another Manny Diaz derailment 3 or 4 years down the line. I just don't see really there being like that bit of an in-between. And if there is an in-between, it's basically Miami turns into Oregon the last 3 years. Whatever your perception is about Oregon the last 3 years, that's the in-between with Miami. That's what Miami will become. And frankly, I don't know if Miami will accept that, which is crazy to think that Miami going 10-2 every season, maybe getting to New Year's Six bowls and winning one of them or two, but not being able to get over that hump into the Georgia, like with Notre Dame, getting over that hump. We're talking about getting over the hump, meaning getting into the Georgia, Alabama, Ohio State territory. That's what we talk about. Texas A&M is on their way to doing it, but Miami isn't, Oregon isn't. So it's like, can Miami be that? Can Miami be the next Texas A&M? And as of right now, I mean, on the recruiting side, there's no shortage of money there coming in.
Or talent either in the recruiting space.
What he's got going for him right now is he's got buy-in. He's got buy-in from the administration, from former players, from the alumni, from the fan base. They all want to see Miami win. They are starving for Miami to win, and they are flush with cash right now. It's a private school, so one of their hospitals there that's associated with the school, they have a lot of money from COVID, and they're using a lot of that money to funnel that into the football program. That's also not to mention that Mario Cristobal, apparently he married into the family of a billionaire, and he's also got some help on that end. So Miami's certainly got a ton of NIL money to spend, and it's showing in recruiting. I mean, you want to talk about being at the right place at the right time for the NIL era? Miami is like hitting that stride on the recruiting trail exactly at the right time. The thing is with Cristobal, what was his biggest knock at Oregon though?
Couldn't finish. Granted, he has 2 Pac-12 championships, but
he
couldn't make the playoffs.
Exactly. The on the field performance was good, but it wasn't great. And who did Mario Cristobal have at quarterback for a couple of years that went on to the NFL and is now lighting it up for the Los Angeles Chargers? Justin Herbert.
Oh, yeah, Justin Herbie.
How was Justin Herbert in college? When Justin Herbert came out of Oregon, you had every NFL quarterback analyst and their mom saying that he was going to be a bust.
I know, that's what's crazy to me, Shoob. Like even myself, I thought Herbie was a good player. I thought he might be a serviceable backup for a while, or he might start for a couple years, but I didn't think he was this. I'd be lying if I told you I thought Herbie would be this good. Herbie's turned into a top 10 quarterback already, and he's looking to escalate into the top 5. And so again, like to your point, that's another little thing about Cristobal. It's like, how do you have a player like that, and then people are very bearish about this player coming out of the league? And so, I mean, what you said, and his head coaching record is 62-60, Shoob. And I looked at that and I was kind of looking through his coaching history, and I was thinking, okay, so maybe, playing at lower level, there's a little give take here. But honestly, like, there's nothing in his coaching history that makes me like, yes, he's had stops at Alabama. He's had stops like in a bunch of prestigious places before. And it's going to be interesting to see. And for Cristobal, I think Miami loves it because, again, he's got this impressive resume, and he's also a Miami guy. But the only thing that Miami's really, honestly, if anyone can do it, it's going to be Miami, just because all the money, like you said, so much money coming in. But I don't know, Shoob. I feel like what you're talking about, how like Miami might not accept being like a 10-2 team every year. I feel like that's where they're heading. They've got Tyler Van Dyke right now, and that's the ultimate thing right now that I think is going to really put Cristobal on a very positive start to his career, because Van Dyke is actually, Miami hasn't had a really good quarterback in a long time.
Yeah, he's inheriting some good pieces.
Exactly.
Despite what everyone says about them, having Van Dyke at QB, that helps. And
they haven't had a player like Van Dyke in a very long time. So Miami is definitely in a good situation to do something, especially in the ACC, especially if Miami is able to get out of that ACC contract and find themselves into either the Big Ten or the SEC, which I think will happen in the future. That's for a whole nother pod. But, I mean, I'm still a little bearish on Cristobal. I'm not the highest on him. I have my doubts when it comes to Cristobal, but given the situation that he's in, I think he's in the ultimate situation to succeed.
It's the biggest life question. Can money buy happiness? Can money buy happiness at Miami? I
I like
think
that.
it can buy happiness, but only to a certain extent. Like I think money buys happiness in real life, but it doesn't buy you like eternal happiness. There's still another level to unlock
And
that doesn't
Shoob,
involve money, and that's what Miami is going to be, in my opinion.
And Shoob, I have another concern about this too. So yes, you can buy all the best players, you can buy the best team, but if you're going to buy all the best players and buy all the best team, I feel like you might have issues with character at some point. You know, I
Yeah,
truly
well,
feel
that's
like
Miami's
so.
bread and butter.
I know, but so I know Miami likes to go back to the U, which was arguably the best football team in ever, like in all of college sports, but that team had a different bread and butter. If that team played today, a lot of those guys would be getting suspended. A lot of those guys would get penalties. They would lose games purely because of all the penalties that they're drawing from all their unsportsmanlike conducts, their late hits, because they drove fear into the eyes of their opponent. And nowadays, today, that's not allowed. You can't do those things. Honestly, if Miami is trying to replicate that culture again and trying to bring that back, and if they're really harping on that, they're going to crash and burn, man. I don't care how talented their team is.
Yeah, to wrap this up, I think we both agree Cristobal is a good head coach. He's a phenomenal recruiter. Like that's his strength, is recruiting. But as far as development, especially QB development, I mean, Herbert Exhibit A, that's the biggest question. It's, can he actually develop players into successful, NFL first round, second round type talent like Alabama and Georgia's done? Kirby Smart, Nick Saban, elite recruiters, they've turned into pretty much elite developers, and that's won the national championships. Can Cristobal be that guy? That's where we have the question marks. But I will say, so I like the coordinators that he's brought in. He got Josh Gaddis from Michigan and then Kevin Steele as the defensive coordinator. If he can have good coordinators that can handle that underneath him, then I think that's where Miami can make that jump. And so far, I've liked the coordinators that he's hired. So we'll see. But I think for both of us, it's a little proceed with caution.